It's 2 weeks now, and I suppose this time of year, I suppose the countdown's always there's always a 3 week of a break or 3 week of a gap, or even maybe 2 week of a gap. So as I say, it's just fantastic position to be in, and it's a position I suppose we really want to avail of. You know, it's not, we're not just going to be going down the road, I suppose, trying to make up numbers or anything. We really want to put the best foot forward for the county. You know, it's been quite a proud year, I suppose, in terms of everybody, you know, really pushing in behind everything in terms of the players and the management and the supporters over this last number of months, where it was maybe a tricky year last year to, I suppose, show a response like we did this year. It's been fantastic so far, but you just don't want it to end yet. You want it to keep going, and ultimately, you know, as you're going through the year, you know, you're always looking back and you're reflecting, and let's face it, we're in an All-Ireland semi-final now, and you're 70 minutes away from a final, and as I say, it's just too big of opportunities, you know, to let by.
Yeah, it's interesting, of course, and you've been long enough involved in the game now to know that these things don't really count that much. After the Ulster final and the performance against Monaghan, everybody had Donegal up on a pedestal right away again. After the Armagh game, they seem to be taken off the pedestal again.
Come here, it's just a slave. I mean, it's in general, you can't be blaming anybody or you know, getting thick or mad with anybody or happy. We knew, I suppose, we look back to, I suppose, the thing in 2012 when you were getting plaudits for winning the All-Ireland. Some of the plaudits we were getting, maybe you're thinking we're a bit over the top, you know, and even likewise last year, maybe some of the criticism or some of the analysis last year maybe been a bit, you know, over the top also. So it's just finding that middle ground, but I think we're massively lucky to have a group of players here fairly level-headed, and we're massively lucky to have a management team who never allow us to get too up or too down, and that's whether we win or we lose. So it's important, I suppose, it's happened this year again in terms of winning Ulster and everybody up on a high, and maybe the last two out people were maybe on a bit of a low after the quarter-final one. But let's face it, it's an All-Ireland quarter-final one, and that's against Armagh, who are a damn good team, and they made things very difficult and played some brilliant football, and I suppose that's the way we'll view it, you know.
Yeah. And it's an old cliche that sometimes you're better going into the next match on the back of something like that rather than winning by 8 or 9 points and everybody's feeling this is going to be easy. I mean, Dublin are red hot favourites now, Michael, and very few people are giving Donegal a chance.
Well, come here, you would hope, I suppose, in a way that you're going to put the head down even more. That's the kind of way, if that is ever possible. I mean, every day we go out to train, we're training, you know, to the best of our abilities. But I suppose in a way you're hoping that you know, you'll learn a hell of a lot more. You know, maybe there was a number of mistakes, or maybe we underperformed in a number of facets of our game against Armagh there the last day, and we hope we'll be working. We have been working on them this week, and we'll continue to work in the next couple of weeks, and maybe they'll just identify them a wee bit more strongly than maybe previously before. Sure.
And for obvious reasons, your role in the team always gets a lot of focus. Should you be in close to the square? Are you playing too much out the pitch and that sort of thing? Do you listen to that sort of stuff going on? Is that part and parcel of what you have to deal with as the team captain, and obviously the focus of much attention?
Come here, you know, Jim McGuinness in the background team over this last number of years have been absolute credit, and you know, the things that we could avail of them, and you know, they're only ever out to do the best for the team, and that's whether that's playing players in certain situations, certain positions. That's always the case. Like maybe my role gets a wee bit more scrutinised than some of the others. I know that there's some other players that are playing in various roles throughout the team, and they're big chopping and changing, whether it's from the half back line to the full back line or various things like that. So that's just the way things are. Again, it was maybe a little bit more scrutinised in terms of adding extra pressure or bothering in the slightest. No, it doesn't bother in the slightest at all. You know, I look at it as a great positive to be able to try and play everywhere and get involved in the game as much as possible, and wherever we see fit to do that, you know, we'll gladly do it. I'm just glad to be in the 15 to begin with.
And a big positive, and Jim made this point to me, it's not about the first 15 as we know, it's very much about the squad and using those 4 or 5 subs, and that's going to be another key element against Dublin.
Yeah, like, I mean, you just have to look at, I suppose, Gaelic football over this last number of years, even hurling and everything. You know, everybody always says a good bench is a you know, imperative, but I think over the last number of years, the teams and championship teams have really highlighted that. You know, a 15-man game, yes, to begin with, but I mean, there's players that are coming off the bench now that are making massive contributions to their teams. You look at the Dublin players that are coming off, huge firepower all over the pitch, and even the last day out there for the likes of Rory and Darragh O'Connor even to come on, and just the performances they provided first, you know, were second to none, and likewise even in the Ulster final to have those bodies. And I think that's, I suppose, what we used the National League for this year. It was very important to blood some of the newer fellas and even blood some of the younger lads, and I suppose they've responded in flying terms, and they can only help us hopefully going into the next game.
And finally, Michael, when we left Croke Park after that defeat by Mayo last year, I think there's very few people that thought we'd be back in an All-Ireland semi-final again, but it says a lot about the squad and the attitude that's in the squad, that Donegal came back and won another Ulster title and are competing and only 70 minutes away, as Jim has said, from an All-Ireland final.
Yeah, you said it. I suppose it was a one, I suppose, that went to the heart last year, and I suppose you'll still, carry a bit of I suppose just a bit of disappointment with the year that we had last year in terms of trying to retain both Ulster and the All Ireland. But come here, that's it. That's what happens to teams. It happens to all teams, But what I'm just very, very proud of as a Donegal person is the way we responded this year, not even as a group of players or management, but as a whole county. In terms of the whole year, whether it been the McKenna Cup or the National League, everybody really, really followed us and followed us strongly. And as I say, hopefully as a county now, travelling down to Dublin and to Dublin's backyard in Croke Park, we can be proud once more.
Okay, cheers, Michael. Thanks a million. Appreciate it, Michael. Thank you.